What's up, YouTube? This your main man, AVD Hero, back again with another video. I feel like it's been so long. I've been so inconsistent. I was trying to do the intro and didn't even feel 100% right. But I'm testing out some new stuff with the streaming stuff, man. I've been trying to make sure I've been working on trying to make sure the quality and everything is just, you know what I'm saying? So it's been a little process where things have not been pumping as quickly as they should have been. But we're finna get back to this content, man. It's a lot of stuff going on out here in this universe, in the big baller universe, man. It's a lot of things that I've been meaning to touch on and talk about. I haven't gotten to that, but hopefully today I feel like I'm gonna just try to go ahead and we're gonna talk about everything that's been transpiring for the past couple weeks, and then so then that way moving forward we can consistently be able to do this. But we still so much stuff that we got to talk about, so I want to make sure we're doing that. You feel me? So let's get into it. Let me pop this chat out so I can make sure I can see it. Let's pop the chat though. What's up, man? Who we got in here so far? Let me see. In the chat right now. Man, computer be acting slow sometimes. I seen, but let's see. All right. What's up, Zera? Dang, everybody got these names, man. Devontae Bartholomew, what's good? Blueprint Style, what up, family? Yeah, they froze out Jello. ESPN paying the Ball brothers coach to sit Jello. You know what, man? I ain't gonna lie, man. I feel like it's some conspiracy going on with that. It's some. I can't even say it's conspiracy. I can't. I think that. I feel like the coach from Vytautas just did not know what he was getting himself into. You know what I'm saying? They got a gift and a curse going on over there, right? Where you got a basketball team that, based on the reports and the financial standards that they were in, if it wasn't for Lavar and the Big Baller brand, you know what I'm saying, they probably wouldn't even be able to have a team next year, let alone be in the LKL. Now you've got coaches. I seen an article that came out a while back from a coach on the opposing team who played for the Vytautas team, who was the second best team in the league, who was like, we might as well keep Vytautas in even if they are last place, just on the fact that they got Lavar and the Big Baller brand, and then how much publicity they've been pulling in just off of, you know what I'm saying, basically losing. They won one LKL game since they joined this squad, but they definitely saved the team. So it's a gift and a curse. So, but you also got the dude Seskis, who is a legend allegedly in that Priny, Lithuanian area, so they're not trying to get rid of him. But he also realized that it's either, if there is no team, it ain't no point in being a legend if you ain't got no team to coach. So he got to do what he's trying to do. But they did freeze your boy Jello out today. How you go from scoring 72 a couple days ago, and then today you get, what he had, like 3 points or something like that? 5 points, 2 assists. Yep. Exactly. I seen that too. I would full disclosure, I missed today's game. I did not get to watch it. I've been so out of the loop. This is how far out of the loop I've been, man. When they played the game versus Hangzhou on the day that Jello declared for the NBA draft, I didn't even know the game was going on. I looked up and it was like Jello just dropped 72, and I was like, yo, what is going on? How did I not know that was happening? But you know what I'm saying, work, life, and all of that stuff. So, but we back on track, man. I've been diving into, like, I've really been trying to upgrade and make sure the quality of stuff that I'm giving y'all is A1, especially since the old channel had these issues. I wanted to come back with this new stuff, and like, I didn't want to just do the same thing. I didn't want to start over and give the same like level. So I've been pouring in and trying to like make sure this new run of content that we got going is A1 and that it's like not in the lane of what anybody else is doing. Ask the coach why they not playing. I seen that there's been a bunch of interviews. Let me show y'all something. Hopefully, man, I think I set it up, man, but I might have made a mistake here. Let me see. I want to try to get this. Let me get this display capture going. One of the things here. Let me see. Let me make sure I got it. There we go. All right. One of the things that I always do, and this is, if y'all not following, this is Lonzo Wire. So where I get a lot of my Ball brother information is a couple folks. Lonzo Wire always got some, at least a place where you can go get some resources. You know what I'm saying? They might not always give you the story the right way, but you can at least get some resources from there. But let me see if I can. This is a dude here, Ramnas Kilamavikas, whatever. He this is a good dude, man. He live over there, and so he always send me like translations and things like that that the coaches say and all that and all the interviews. So it's kind of dope. So but so if y'all not following this dude and y'all interested in that big baller brand stuff, check out this dude on Twitter. He if you see, he Fresh from Talking with Fresh, Brandon Williams, Lonzo Wire. This is the dude who sends the translations to Lonzo Wire. This dude, Josh Martin here, is the guy who writes for Lonzo Wire. And this is a prominent Lithuanian reporter. So you see there's some folks over there who following the dude. But he put out some, he always got some cool stuff that he talking about on here. But let's see. He let me go back to his main camera. But so check that dude out. But so he posted an interview that I read a while back, and like I said, we got to go way back because there's a lot of stuff we haven't talked about. Where the head coach, as far as talking about not playing Melo, is still trying to like. It's still harping on Melo's shot selection, right? So his new excuse is like, yo, when they first got here, I cut them a lot of slack, and I think I cut them too much slack. That's the stuff that he's talking about in his latest interview. And so now he's not playing Melo as much because he's like, yo, Melo, get out there, and he don't run the system. But if you look at the last two games, they're getting drugged by teams that they should be competing against. When they played the Raiders team, they were like, yo, that coach from there said, yo, they got a squad over there, and they got some real players, and I can see them contending. And now they play two teams that they should have blown out, and they've gotten blown out by both of these teams. And Melo has played limited minutes in those games. So the excuse that like Melo is the reason why they losing is ridiculous. You can't tell me if you put Melo in, at least you know he probably gonna give you. He may give you, if he's hot, he gonna give you at least 10 to 20 points. You see what he did that Zalgiris game? They were getting worked, and then Melo damn near gave you 5 threes back to back to back. So you know what I'm saying, the boy Melo deserves his respect when it comes to that. Let's see what we talking about. Am I froze over here, man? My thing might be. How's the chat working for y'all, man? Let's restore the chat. He put Melo in his day with. Melo got it and made it 3 right away. Exactly. I feel like it's a few of them on the squad who got beef with all of them. If you watch, there are moments where. There have been moments over the past couple games where your boy Jello turned into a black hole, right? and he just gonna shoot that thing when he get it, right? But there are, most of the time though, he's been pretty reserved. His shot selection has not been on Chino Hills. Now in the Big Baller Brand Challenge games, obviously he get the green light because his dad paid for them games. They gonna set it up, so give him his green light. So, but there is a lot of hate for them. All right, so before we get into all that though, I want to go back a little bit. There is this, let me see, a couple days ago, man, like the last week or so, there was an article came out from one of the editors or somebody over at ESPN, and he brought up Lavar Ball, and that was kind of a thing where he talked about the gift and the curse of Lavar, and how the casual fans who stop by ESPN may click to read Lavar stuff, but the folks who like subscribed and always there are the people who probably don't want to hear that. And ESPN playing to like the casual fans are alienating the subscribers and the folks who really want to be there. Now, I think that this is my take on Lavar Ball and the ESPN relationship. People care about the Lavar Ball story. ESPN, Steve Kerr, and a lot of them try to paint this thing as if like what Lavar Ball doing is not that exciting. He's a basketball dad. How many dads do XYZ? But they keep skipping the part where what he's doing has never been done before with his brand and the Big Baller Brand and the 3 sons and all of them. That's the part of the story that's never been done before. Where I feel like ESPN dropped the ball at, and the reason why a lot of folks don't want to hear them talk about Lavar and all of them that much is because they chose to tell like the story from the negative side, right? So it's like when you gamble, when you go to the casino and you gamble, if you play roulette, which is my game, you bet on black, you bet on red, and you got a 50% chance to win or lose, right? And Lavar Ball bet on himself, bet on his sons. So let's say they got this 50% chance that they gonna win or lose. So now you could tell the story of, yo, this dude took a shot, and what if he wins? This may be what happens, right? They could have all of this, right? You could tell the story from the positive side, or you can say, yo, we're gonna bet on them to lose, and you could tell the story from the negative side. ESPN started telling the story more from the negative side than they did from the positive side. They started looking at, if Melo leave high school, what are all of the bad things that can happen, as opposed to if Melo leave high school, what are all of the good things that are supposed to happen. Now, where I feel like they messed up is that we always tune in to hear the good story, right? We don't want to hear about the team who's losing. We don't want to hear about how sorry somebody is. We like to listen to LeBron because we want to see how great LeBron can be. So now if you're going to tell us that Lavar Ball is doing things that are detrimental to him and his kids, we don't want to hear about that every day. But now when you were telling us before, Lavar Ball got 3 kids, they all got scholarships to UCLA, he's doing all of these great things, that's the stuff people want to tune in for. He got his own brand, they putting out shoes, they selling millions of orders. That's the stuff that folks want to hear. But now when you start to tell us about how bad this person is, and you want to talk about him every day, that's when people have a problem. That's what happened where you get this Tim Tebow LaVar Ball comparison. Tim Tebow was a success story from the fact that like he had all of the good stuff going for him, you know what I'm saying? The right color skin, you know what I'm saying? He was taking knees and praying and all of that stuff, but he was terrible at quarterback. So when every day you get on the TV and you tell us about how terrible Tim Tebow is at quarterback, but then you want to halfway praise him, we don't want to hear about it. We know he's terrible. How you going to talk about the terrible quarterback when you got Tom Brady on the other side who need to get the coverage? I feel like that's where LaVar Ball threw it. That's where ESPN went wrong. With Jeff Goodman, like somebody mentioned over here, when he started reporting on, he was supposed to be there to report on the kids' games in Lithuania, and he was trying to report on the negative stuff that LaVar Ball said about Luke Walton, even though they asked him not to report it. everybody jumped out the window in that moment and said, bro, don't nobody want to hear that. That's not the story. The story isn't what LaVar Ball thinks about Luke Walton. The story is we got 2 kids in Lithuania doing something that's never been done before. ESPN don't want to take that story. They want to take the salacious and the scandalism and all of that and run with it. And people don't want to hear that, man. It's so much bullshit going on in this country. We don't need to be inundated with more scandal when we don't need it, right? You can't paint somebody as a villain and then all of a sudden then feed us negative stuff all day, every day. You feel me? I feel like that's where they went wrong. Let me see. Tell me what y'all think. I think the 2 big guys like ball. Let me see, man. I'm trying to. Dang, no, this computer. What's the name of this video here? All right. Have y'all seen? So your boy, let's talk about this now. I had to talk about the ESPN LaVar Ball thing, but have y'all seen? Well, let's go here. JBA. The JBA is out here about to come now. People didn't think it was happening, but they released some stuff, and it's gonna be a little bit different than I expected it to be. I think that I read somewhere. Let's pull it up here. All right, so let me get this light. Let me get this extra. All right, so now let's see. We got JBA action here. Have y'all been to the JBA website? Will Kane and Jeff Goodman, they gonna hate, man. I think it's interesting. Few things back on that LaVar Ball thing. ESPN, all of these leagues are. I feel like the reason, also another thing, a reason why you got that negative reporting is because ESPN is in bed with everybody. When All-Star Weekend was there, I seen a segment on what's that show, The Jump, where they talk about every shoe that was coming out for All-Star Weekend. They featured Nikes, Adidas, everything. We didn't get the Big Baller Brand feature. Damn, every time, what's her name, Rachel Nichols, somebody mentioned the Big Baller Brand, she don't want to talk, but they don't get no free promo over here. So, JBA though, let's see. So they got tryouts coming this summer, and it should be pretty dope. Let me move this. JBA tryouts coming this summer. Any of y'all going to these tryouts? Tryouts April 7th. I think it's interesting. We'll see only 100 players. 8 cities: Los Angeles, Seattle. This is how old you gotta be. This is the interesting part here. You must be at least 17, but not older than 19. So that's a weird age, you know what I'm saying? And you gotta be graduated from high school or working to a GED. So I feel like that's tough, right? Because if you just graduated high school when you turn 18, or you graduated high school when you turn 19. But I guess, let me see, that say you have to be no older than 19. So I guess if you're 20, you can't. So that's some room there. But nationally ranked players may not qualify. I think that's interesting thing there, if you see that. So they decided to not accept nationally ranked players. And I feel like earlier in the year when they were on the Twitter and they were canvassing players and that whole story came out, they offered a lot of nationally ranked players an opportunity to join the league. So now looks like they're going back on that. Let's see, JBA. There's some more interesting stuff. JBA players would be paid to play and considered junior pros prior to entering the NBA draft. Travel, meals, lodging, all included. mid-June to September. Yeah, I think that that's gonna be a tough part, not allowing like ranked players to get in there, because I feel like that's really what you need is that cosign, that McDonald's All American who said, "Yo, I'm gonna mess with it," because then that's almost guaranteeing you that's giving you a greater shot to have somebody go pro from the league. Jello could play for. All right, we're gonna get into that Jello thing. They offered Tyler Herbo and Matt McClung. That's what I'm saying. What's the kid? There's a kid in Indiana, Romeo Langford. I seen somewhere where he said that they offered him a shot too. But I guess after all of that, allegations came out with the NCAA. They rescinded all of those offers. This is the part that I think is dope, and I think is a good look in them utilizing the shit that they got going over right now in Lithuania, the international season. So not only are they gonna have the season here with the 8 teams, they're gonna go on a tour with the Big Baller Brand squad, and then go play international squads. Now that's a look. That's a look, especially if you're not a ranked player. So you probably got some D1 looks or whatnot, but now you get to go at least audition for international squads on a Big Baller Brand tour. Now, as we've seen, all of these good international teams are jumping out the window to play versus BC Vytautas, who is the last place LKL team. So now you can imagine the opportunity that a Big Baller branded team is going to have traveling internationally to play. I feel like this is a good look, because then this also extends the season, because I think that I forgot, there's a kid who I read an article is like a Duke commit, and his thing with him and his mom, she was like the season just wasn't long enough from June to September, like, and then it's over, and then what? So I feel like this adding this will definitely be something cool. Tryout information. I'm trying to get in here, man, on this tryout, man. I might have to get me a fake ID. See if I can join this JBA. Somebody, you say your cousin, Devontae Bartholomew, you say your cousin going to tryout? Trying out a shooting guard in Philly. 2 more years to work on this game. All right, let's get into this Jello talk. Alright, so now as we all know, my dog Jello just declared for the draft like a couple days ago, earlier this week. On the same day he dropped 72 points. Now, do I think the boy Jello gonna get drafted? I think it's interesting. I think there's a lot of gifts and a lot of curses working for my dog. I think that is it imperative, or is it like 100% a must that he gets drafted this year? No. Because now, while Lonzo was a one and done, Lonzo could have literally went pro out of high school. Jello would not have had that option. So him going, if he would have went to UCLA, the ideal of him going one and done from UCLA would have been a stretch. But the plan was for him to go one and done anyway. So I think that even if he don't get drafted now, like, it doesn't matter. I don't know, for a couple reasons, right? A lot of times these European players will enter the draft, and some of them will get drafted and never come over, or they'll wait a couple years then come over. When Ricky Rubio got drafted to the Timberwolves, he got drafted and then went back and played a few more seasons before he came over here. So they drafted his rights, but he wasn't ready to come over here. And then whenever he was ready to enter the NBA officially, then he was automatically had a team that he was on. Now, I say all that to say, if Jello don't get drafted, he still got a year or two to put in over there to become a beast. He already leading the LKL in scoring. And the beauty of that is he's shooting at a really high percentage. Now, today's game, he was off, had a pretty bad game. But in other games, The kid talking with Fresh, I was looking at he was recapping the game, and he talked about how Jello didn't get a shot up till almost 5 minutes in the first quarter into today's game. So like somebody said in the comments, they were basically icing my dog. So I think that the shot and his ability to put the ball in the hole is what it needs to be. I think that him leading the LKL right now with 15 points a game is a big deal for multiple reasons. If there's an NBA player who's a baller and a scorer, if he went to the LKL, I would expect him to be leading the LKL in scoring. Jello is getting that accomplished. In the Zhangjiao game or whatever, where they played the CBA team, but they played the youth team, I would expect an NBA player to be able to drop 72 on their head. Jello does that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like in times where he's playing against what we may consider talent that is not on the level of an NBA, I feel like he plays above that talent. I mean, the kid's dropping 25, 30 points in the LKL games, so I feel like that's what you're supposed to do. If you're an NBA player, that's what you're supposed to do. Now, I think where the gifts and the curses come in with Jello is people are comparing him to like what LeBron would do, what like these once in a generation players would do in the LKL. And like while everybody in the NBA can ball, the dude who what's his name, Alex Caruso, played for the Lakers, right? Point guard. Good player. Get some minutes with the Lakers, play something in the G League. If he go to the LKL, I'm not like 100% certain that he's going to like score 30 points a game and be like the LKL MVP or whatnot, right? That's not his player. That's not his style of play. I feel like if Jello is good enough to be an Alex Caruso, play something in the G League and put up points and then come off the bench for the Lakers, like that's the type of dude who would be leading the LKL and scoring. You feel me? I think that so that's where the kind of the curse comes in, is that he's getting compared to these like super big name players, and maybe that's not his game. Like nobody said that Jello's finna be in the NBA and be a superstar. They just saying that he gonna contribute. Let me see. That's the thing too. Yes, Mr. CEO said he can play his back to the basket, back down smaller defenders. That is true, but that's LKL. In the NBA, like folks his size are guards. You look at Lonzo as a point guard, 6'7" point guard. You look at Ben Simmons, point guard. He was 6'11". You know what I'm saying? Brandon Ingram was playing point guard when Lonzo was out. Giannis played point guard, 7 foot tall. You know what I mean? You got at small forward. What is KD? Is KD a small forward? Like those are the folks who he gonna have to be. Those are the people who he's gonna be playing against, or potentially playing against. He's not gonna be able to back down all of them folks down. He's 6'5". He got some good size, but like it's a little bit different. He's got to figure out how to be a Ray Allen-esque player and get his shot just stupid wet. But then also Ray Allen was quick enough to get to the basket, so he also gonna have to be a shooter. JJ Redick is a dude who's a shooter. Who we're not expecting JJ to drive you and cross you up and do all that extra stuff. We're expecting JJ to be open and knock it down. We're expecting him to be able to move and come off screens and knock shots down. I think that that's going to have to be Jello's game in the NBA, or he's going to have to add some athleticism to his game so he can make moves. Because right now, if he was a shooter the way he is and he was 6'11", and could back people down the post. Now I'm like, okay. If he was 6'8", I'm like, all right. 6'5", he gonna have to be a shooting guard or a point guard, and I don't see that is right now. That's not like his 100% game. Kyle Korver, Klay Thompson, but see, and that's what I'm saying. Like I could see a Kyle Korver type, right? But Kyle Korver is slow, but he still is great moving without the ball, spot up shooter and shooting it. He not driving past you, he gonna shoot it. Klay Thompson got a little bit I'm gonna get to the rack in my game. You know what I'm saying? He's got a little bit of that, and I think that there's a dude who I say Clay. If you go look him up, Georges Niang. I feel like that is the dude who got the same athleticism and ability to score as Jello, whereas like he can kind of get you to the back of the basket, but I feel like he's just a little bit taller than Jello, and that's where it kind of gave him the edge. Georges played at Iowa State. That's where I went to school at, so I like watched him a little bit, and so he got the same athleticism as Jello. If he can make it to the league, I feel like Jello can. But he gotta give me a little bit more athletically. Jello has a shooting guard in his bio. I'm saying he got shooting guard in his bio, but I don't know if it's 100% in his athleticism. I think he got it. He just got to work for it. I think that right now we see him like you see him getting buckets a lot in the paint. In Chino Hills, he was outside shooting. But you also seen him throw that lob and him getting a lot of buckets down low. You see him at leak out and stuff like that. You see him pulling up and taking shots, but you don't really see him bringing the ball up the court, controlling it, you know what I'm saying, ISOing, and then getting to the rack as much. Which brings me back to this now. I meant to talk about this a while ago. And this dude, y'all subscribe to this dude. He makes some funny videos. Starborn007. He been subscribed to the channel for a minute, and he sent me the audio. It's a Lavar Ball interview he did a couple weeks ago with a young lady from, I want to say like Virginia, and they kind of talked about everything. It was an hour-long interview, and he loved interviewing her because she definitely did something that ESPN and other news outlets don't do. Is she didn't play dumb. When he was saying stuff, she knew what he was talking about, and she acknowledged that she knew what he was talking about. Whereas a lot of other news outlets try to play like, oh, we don't know what you mean. Like when LaVar Ball walk out and TMZ is asking him about his son, and he says, oh, it's not that big of a deal, you know what I'm saying, we gonna work on it, and then everybody says, he said it's not a big of a deal. Like that. She didn't do that type of stuff. And so that was good, and I definitely forgot where I was going with that point, but I was going to talk about something that she talked about in that interview. And do y'all know which interview I'm talking about? Did you see that one? Man, what did she say? They talked a lot about the London games. They talked about he went off on a lot of these older players, or on the Stephen A. Smiths and a lot of these other media outlets. He went off on them. I might have to come back to that because he said something that I wanted to address, but I can't even think of it right now. It was I feel like it was. They talked about it on Lonzo Wire. I want to say the dude. How I seen it is the Starborn dude. He sent me the video. The RW Sports Debate posted the audio from the video, uploaded that to YouTube, and they sent me that link to watch. Hey, she was trying really hard to slide into that Ball Family reporter spot now. She was going for it, and LaVar was like, we gotta talk again. We must do this. I like this. This is nice. I think she going to do it. Yeah, let's see that. The London Lions game. Now, have y'all seen the streaming setup for that? Let me see. I think I got that on here. In the London Lions game right now. I got it. In order to watch that game, you have to pay. It's $10 to stream that. The London line, alright. So that game is Tuesday. It's going to cost you $10 to stream from here. But then I guess you get to have access to that for 2 more days. I mean, 2 weeks after that. I think that this is an interesting move, right? All of the other games, yeah, you gotta pay. Exactly. All of the other games have been free. This one you gotta pay. Now, well, I feel like I don't know how the pay thing gonna work out. Is because if you look at the times, the game is Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and then Monday 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So like you're gonna have to not only pay, so you gotta like really, 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 really want to watch this game. And I guess you could get the playback, right? But like you really gotta want to watch this game to like wake up at 8 a.m. in the morning and drop $10 to catch the live stream. To me, that's a tough one. The game will be lit. I think the game gonna be lit. It's gonna be dope. Now, I would pay to be there. You know what I'm saying? And all of that. And I think that this is gonna be an interesting one for another reason is like I don't know how it's gonna work with like typically, you know, if you miss the stream, you can catch the Ball is Life highlights and all of that. I don't know if they're gonna do the Ball is Life highlights in order to make sure people paying for the stream. You feel me? So I don't know, man. I feel it. I see what they're trying to do. Oh, you already okay. So you already paid for it. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know, man. If I pay for it, actually, it's Monday. Like I said, it's Monday at 11 a.m. So I'll be working. I gotta work during that time, so I won't be able to watch it. So I don't know if I'm gonna want to watch the live stream. Yeah, Lavar gonna be coaching, which almost is enough reason to pay for it anyway. That's what I'm saying. Like I get the game is gonna be huge, right? Cause you gotta. This was when I did my kind of preview of the game. It's a big deal. This is London, right? This is like them playing in New York, right? Or like having a game in like LA, right? But this is like them playing in New York versus the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? This is like. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it'll be tough because I'll be busy. But this is a big game. This is a good look. The only team in London. They're going to be there splitting the tickets. They also got a pop-up shop inside the arena. I guess, to me, though, this is an international play. I think that sometimes when I'm thinking about the big baller brand, Vytautas and stuff like that, I'll get caught up in thinking of, like, they're doing a lot of this stuff to play into the market over here in the United States. But realistically, the big baller brand is an international brand. So a lot of this Monday is not game day. When is game day? I did see that too. The game is not game day? When? Let me check my calendar, man. Let me check my calendar. Hold on. Oh, that's what I thought it is Monday. All right. Because tomorrow's the first, right? Or am I tripping? Sunday is the first. Monday should be... It's money day. Yeah, boy. Yep, Monday. I thought so, man. You had me thinking I was wrong. Yesterday, Easter, man. Yo, get y'all some Easter eggs tomorrow. But let me see. So that's gonna be interesting. I think it's a tough thing because I feel like this is an interesting move, right? Because there's a couple different ways that you could play it. They obviously are starting to try to create their own streaming player because a lot of folks are interested in them. But I think that you either do one or two things, right? You either do this and you charge $10 and you try to get the fans to pay for it, right? Or you already have these streaming numbers, and then you partner with brands. You know what I'm saying? So instead of saying like, yo, y'all gonna pay $10, you say, yo, we gonna have as many people as we can come watch this game, and then you go to like Google or Sony or Apple or, just an example of big corporation. You say, yo, why don't you go ahead and advertise that new phone that y'all got coming out during our stream type of thing, and you make the money like that. I think that this is cool, but it's tough because, like I said, the time of the day. If this was like Saturday night, if it was tonight, right now, or something like that, and it was during $10, and I ain't have much going on, I could see me putting up 10 on that. You know what I'm saying? Also, yeah, I did see that Zoe is choosing one fan who buys the game, who streams it, to fly out to LA, and then to you get to go to a Laker game, you get to go hang out with him and get dinner. So I guess that is also a reason. It's almost like playing the lottery a little bit. You might get to go hang out with the Lakers for a night, but I don't know, man. That's a risky one. We'll see. All right, let's get back here. Hold on now. Something jumped out there now. What does you say? Let me see. What team do I think Jello could fit on? I would say, obviously, man, I would love to see Jello in that purple and gold with the boy Lonzo. If I had to choose, I feel like that would be the move, man. I like the Disney store. You know what I'm saying? Or I feel like you could sell that too. If you get Jello on the Clippers, Lonzo with the Lakers, anytime they play each other, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be the Ball brothers versus... Come on, man. That's a story. Yeah. I started charging $2 for that game. I started charging $2, man. I feel like I would be trying to monetize them streams for sure. But I think just the game is not at like... If you could choose what time you could stream the game for people to see it, like 11 a.m. on 8 a.m. on a Monday morning is just not it's not the time to charge folks to watch that game. It's already a tough time to even be able to watch it for free. So then to even pay to get up at 8 a.m. to watch it in LA, which is their like home market, you know what I'm saying, which is their friends and everybody else who in that area who would be there to want to see it. It's at 8 a.m. for them, so you got to be up at 7:30. So I don't know, this is a tough one. Let me see what else we got to talk about here for a second. Orlando Magic. I think the cool thing is that your boy Jello already said he don't care what team taking. He's just trying to get a shot, and I hope he get a shot. I feel like I don't know if he's gonna get drafted because it's such a big deal with him and Lavar and all of that stuff. The name, it would be if he did get drafted. I hope he get drafted, because then it's a lot of people who are gonna walk out of there with a sad face who just hate. It's a lot of NBA players, or not NBA players, but it's a lot of older generation players who like feel some type of way about LaVar, who have like spoken on Jello, and I feel like I don't know why you would do that. I think that's the most interesting thing about this too for me, is that I can't, me as who I am, right, as an adult, and then even if I was a basketball legend, I cannot see myself coming out and like speaking negatively on a kid who's 19 years old trying to make it to the NBA. Like, I wouldn't come out and be like, yo, that dude is talentless. He can't make it. To me, that's just crazy. Like, I think somebody asked Paul Pierce what he thought, and he was like, yo, I hope he get a shot. I hope he make it. I hope he work on his game. I feel like that's the road to take. I think that there's some like Dennis Scott said something, Gary Payton said something, and I feel like they're, and I'll full disclosure, I don't really subdue to a lot of negativity. I don't like to put myself through that, so I didn't read all of what they said or watch the videos. But like I don't even think that I would say anything that could be like interpreted as hate for like a 18, 19-year-old kid who's chasing his NBA dream. Yeah, Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp almost hate on everybody but LeBron James. So I don't know. He don't count. Which is weird. Shannon Sharp got a relationship with LeBron James the same way that's his name. Gilbert Arenas went off and was saying some crazy stuff. Actually, that is why that's one thing I was gonna talk about. Is yeah, Gary Payton talking. I, and this is my speculation. This is what I think. I think that the reason why these older dudes are so vocal is because a lot of them have kids around the age of Jello and them, right? So now, realistically, Gary Payton's son plays for the Lakers. If they sign Jello, guess who ain't on the squad no more? It's probably Gary Payton's son. So he gonna feel some type of way, uh, simply because of that. You know what I'm saying? But I also think that they feel some type of way because their style of parenting isn't the same way as Lavar's. So now, if Lavar Ball is so smart to say, yo, we're going to open the Big Baller brand, we're going to do our own thing, we're going to sell our merch, we're going to talk our trash, we're going to get out here, and we're going to do this. Now, how does Gary Payton look when he already got the bread? I would have believed, and I don't know how much money they got, but I think after his NBA career, he probably has more money or probably made more money than what I would think LeVar Ball would have made. So now, if Gary Payton Jr. was that baller, then why not have the glove brand sponsor him and he got a shoe coming out, right? So now, if what LeVar Ball is doing works, then I feel like you have these older dads with players coming up who looking like, I'm not going to do that. So, but what does that make me look like? If I'm not taking advantage of like this opportunity, then I'm not out here promoting my sons the way that he doing it. I feel like in some regards it made them look a little crazy, and they don't want to necessarily do that. I seen that. I read. I think I read some of the stuff from Gilbert Arenas, and yeah, he just was. I mean, Gilbert Arenas just was talking trash. But same thing, like I feel like you could say, yo, this kid need to work on some stuff. You know what I mean? But I don't see where I would go off. You said Gary Payton didn't have hate when TMZ interviewed him. That's what I'm saying. Like I think I read some headlines, and I didn't necessarily like. I didn't feel like reading all of that. So I think that you got Gilbert Arenas who out of like we all know the kind of stuff that happened to him while he was in the NBA. So like his like advice or like his him being overcritical of anybody related to the NBA is kind of out of bounds. All right, let's see what we got here. How do y'all feel about Lonzo right now? His rookie season. I feel like he got the knee contusion. You know what I'm saying? His shot was, he was hot for a little bit. I think they were talking about 15, 16 games where he was shooting almost 50% from three almost. And then he had a game recently where he was like 1 for 12. And there's been a lot of talk about his 10, 7 to 7. Okay, all right. See, I believe it. I believe that they changed the headline on Gary Payton because I could see how folks would do that. You know what I'm saying? But and I guess that makes sense, right? If you got any sense, and your son play on the Lakers with Lonzo Ball, it would not behoove you to go at your teammate's dad. You know what I'm saying? I could, and especially the like the player on the team. I can't say he the best player on the team, but like the guy who's supposed to be like the man on the team. Like you don't want to be going at his dad and causing that friction, especially because you know LaVar gonna come back. So I could see Gary Payton hopefully was thinking about that and wouldn't go in. But like I said, I didn't 100% check that article. I just kind of got caught up in the headlines as well. Yeah, his free throw shooting has been whack. I think that's the I don't understand what's going on with his shot, man. His shot is crazy. At least I would have believed that he would have been able to knock down the free throws. If you've been shooting at like that your whole life, you know what I'm saying? That I feel like at least by this point you got one or two shots down. But I think even in the paint, sometimes I done seen him trick off some pretty easy layups this year. So his scoring is going to be definitely something he got to work on. Building up his body so he don't get hurt and miss 15 games every couple of weeks is going to be some stuff that he going to have to lay into for next season. But we'll see, man. I think he definitely didn't have the Rookie of the Year season. The Lakers definitely had a better season than a lot of folks expected them to have. They didn't make the playoffs, but if for some reason that they could have kept everybody healthy, I feel like they would have had a shot. You had extended periods of time where Brandon Ingram was out, Kuzma was out, Josh Hart was out, Lonzo was out, especially when they started catching that momentum. Like all of the top players kind of took some time off. So I think that giving them another year, Lonzo building up a little bit of body. I don't know how I feel about this idea that they got to bring in two mega superstars because I feel like they really got some talented young players who may turn into like it may be a big deal. If you look at teams like Golden State, who had a Draymond Young, who had a Steph Young, who had a Clay Young, and then those players turned into what they are today. You look at OKC, who had a Russell Westbrook, had a Kevin Durant, had a James Harden Young, and look at what those players turned in today. I think when you watching the Lakers, you watching a team that is has the potential to like turn into one of those type of situations. So I think breaking that up because you want to go get LeBron, which is a good idea. I mean, it's LeBron James. He's the best player in the world. But I feel like long term, you probably got a better shot at this whole thing if you holding down with the kid Lonzo, Kuz, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, who's been balling. I think investing in them could be the move for the future for them. We'll see. Mm, 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 mm. All right, here we go. Needs to work on his shooting. I know he scored 65, 82 in high school, 25 against the best team in Lithuania, 72. I think people don't like Jello because he's not flashy. They see Lonzo and Melo and they so Let's see. Zoe, Cruz, and Bi are the future. They have a good bond off the court, push each other to get better on the court, build that chemistry. Zoe will get the shot down. Sky's the limit for 2 years. Yep. That's what I'm saying. They got a strong young core. Strong. It does not make sense to me why you would break that up. They got a strong young core. Now, if you look at teams with solid young cores, you know what I'm saying, like the Bucks, Giannis, they got the Thon Maker kid. They just got an Eric Bledsoe. They got the dude who rookie of the year a couple of years ago. I think Jabari Parker's still with the Bucks, right? They have a young core too, and as you see, they've progressed every season. They've steadily got better, but you do see that sometimes with that young core, you're gonna have to give them some time to grow. So now, if folks expect the Lakers to take Lonzo in year 1, Brandon Ingram in year 2, and then next year be like a contender for the championship, I don't know about that. But in like 2 or 3 years, you know what I'm saying? I could see that happening. I think the tough part with that is the expectations that folks gonna have in LA, being big enough to rush them into making a decision to please people, because the Lakers been struggling for years, and I hope that they don't fall into that trap. Young Vytautas though. What teams do you think that you would like to see Jello play for? Somebody said the Magics earlier, the Clippers. I would love to see him play for San Antonio. I don't know if Doc could take him, because I mean not Doc, but Popovich would take him because he might bump heads with your boy Lavar. But yeah, they got that. I feel like Popovich would be the type of coach who could fit LiAngelo in a spot to 100% utilize his skill set and not try to make him something that he's not. I feel like that would be a good look for him. That's what I'm saying. It would be a amazing landing spot for him to get into the league for a little bit. And then with the ideal of like, I can see this kid Melo, you know what I'm saying, in a couple years, stepping into the league, and then going ahead and that Voltron forming with Jello after a couple years down in San Antonio with Pop honing his skills. Because he would kind of, what's the kid, the dude for the Spurs who was a 3-point shooter? Man, he broke Ray Allen's 3-point record for the playoffs. I can't think of his name. See, I don't know if he could come off the bench for Booker. I feel like I could see Jello playing with like a LeBron and being like the Kevin Love type, or what they had Iman Shumpert doing. Go stand in the corner. LeBron gonna drive to the basket. He gonna find you, and all you got to do is consistently knock that down. I think that's the thing. Melo needs to mature big time. Not only his game, but his mentality. I agree with you, but every 16-year-old needs to mature big time. Not only their game, but their mentality. Like, that's what you get from 16-year-olds. All of them, across the board, all of them need to mature. No matter what they doing, straight A student, failing, they all got maturity issues. You know what I'm saying? Some of them may be more mature than others, but they still got a ton more maturing to do. Even when you're 21, you still got much more maturing to do. So I expect Melo to want to play Fortnite and eat Skittles because he's a 16-year-old. Especially if you got if you got $1 million in the bank account. That's just something that you might want to do. You know what I mean? You would have gave me that kind of money and that kind of notoriety when I was 16. No telling what would have happened. If he could play in the NBA, soaking Jello. Straight up. Should go to the Brooklyn Nets. Let's see. It's been a lot of your boy Jello. Let me cut this one. Your boy Jello. I mean, let's go to Melo. Melo and Vytautas right now. The struggle is real with them. Your boy Seskis, man. He gotta get my dog Melo some ticks. He gotta get Melo some ticks. Oh, that's what. There it is. I just remembered. Earlier when I was talking about the young lady who did the interview with Lavar, what I found interesting about that is Lavar was critical in that interview of like the progress that Melo and Jello were making under the tutelage of Coach Seskis, right? And now what was interesting is a couple weeks prior to, maybe a week or so, there was Bleacher Report? There was a young lady who did an article after being in Lithuania with them for some time, and it was kind of like, I felt like she kind of took some liberties with like the perspective and how Melo must be feeling with being over there without like actually quoting Melo saying this is how I feel about being over there. But she did say some things about their training and lack thereof. And I felt like in that interview with the lady from, I think it was like KNN, Lavar pretty much co-signed some of the like lack of progression that they had been having. And then he kind of cited the trip to Barcelona as part of that. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was interesting because when she dropped that article talking about Melo and how she could see him like playing for Zalgiris' youth team and maybe getting better coaching, or the coach hitting him with the bag as he's coming up. And she kind of went off into like painting those pictures. I felt like even I was like, yo, you got to at least quote Melo, and because she painted him as a sad little boy. And I felt like a lot of people went in and they talked about how they are getting better, woo, woo, woo. And then Lavar came back and said, yo, they over here, they progressing kind of, but not the way that they supposed to be. Then I think he came back out recently and then said that he's happy with the progress they made. But so I thought that was interesting because I think that the competition level is one that is like playing versus those type of players is going to make you better. But I could see where they're like, yo, outside of that, they need to make sure that the level of play is up to par. Then I think when you take into account, Seskis even talked about how he slowed things down a lot, trying to make sure that they could fit in. And then that article that she wrote for me really just it kind of make a little bit more sense now. Like her perspective on their growth, like I could see where she was coming from, because pretty much everybody is co-signing the fact that they could have done something a little bit better and a little bit different. I thought that was kind of that was enlightening. That was one of the most enlightening parts of that interview with the young lady. I'm also excited about this Big Baller brand water. Let me see. When they lost the game, he hopped straight on Fortnite. And he's still on. I think I heard Melo got a Twitch. Uh-oh. Let me switch. Uh-oh. We got a... Oh, dang. Hey, this is Have you any of y'all hip to this dude here? Fresh Sports Talk. He pretty much got the Lavar Big Baller brand LaMelo Jello articles on deck. Did y'all hear about this thing where hey, that's actually LaMelo on Fortnite on that Twitch. That's actually a move, man. Cause I think you get paid decent money to be a Twitch streamer. So I feel like if anybody gonna make some money or have the ability to do that over there, it's gonna be Melo. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me pause this for a minute, man. I think we about to. Whoa! Live stream every day. Every day. Every day. Hey. Ooh. There we go. Dang, that one almost dead too, man. Alright. What the... Hey, can I get y'all... I want to get... What does the audio sound like? And what does the stream quality look like for y'all, man? I'm trying to... like I said, I'm trying to test out some new stuff, man. I figured out how to use my DSLR camera as a webcam, which is dope, but it's just because it's such a more high quality camera, it's harder to stream now. Let's see. The quality of the stream isn't as but man, I think I'm about to hop off here. It's been real. It's been real, man. Also, let me do that. Top cheers. I can't do. Stream help. Still on there. Trying to load it back up, man. There we go. think BBB will stay with Vytautas? Uh, I think so, man. I think they don't really have a choice, to be honest. I mean, they got a choice, but they invested so much money in it. And Vytautas that if they walked away, it would they lose a lot, right? I mean, if you think about the fact that they sponsored jersey, the court sponsor, they go to a different team, they gonna have to start all over, build the same kind of rapport. And is every team going to be as like is every team going to allow you to just pick up the whole squad, fly everybody to London and go play in a basketball game? Is every team going to want to have their players play 3 big baller brand challenge games back to back to back, and then that week play one of the biggest games of the season? I don't know if that's happening with a lot of other teams. So I can't imagine them leaving because they kind of got like the golden ticket right now with Vytautas. I think Lavar got so much pull. Like they let him coach the games. Like that in itself is a big deal. If you look at a team like Zalgiris, who is one of the biggest teams over there, their players, some of their top players, play less minutes in the LKL game than they do in the EuroLeague game. So, like, we'll see. Lavar talking about when he said everything would be a bit different. I don't know. I feel like that if we're talking about changes within Vytautas, I think that could mean a lot of things, right? Seskis, the head coach, already talked about in an interview that he did before, where he said he doesn't mind like sitting out a year and letting Lavar coach the whole season. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't mind doing that stuff, right? This dude who I talked about earlier, I be saying these names wrong, but the guy who I showed y'all on Twitter, Ramnas Kilimovic, he posted this graphic before where he talked about the how much the budget is for Vytautas compared to how much the budgets are for like the best teams in the LKL. And I feel like that spoke to a lot of why they're in last place. I think that the if I remember correctly, and I'm trying to find it, but I don't think I can. But if I remember correctly, like the LKL, the Vytautas budget was like $450,000, and Zalgiris was like $6-7 million budget. That's a big deal. That's a huge gap. That's, you know what I mean? So when you're trying to get quality players, I feel like you can see why when you watch the Vytautas game and then folks like, man, they can't buy a basket. They need to whatever. So if he's talking about doing things different and changing some stuff and he going to add to the budget, I could foresee that being a big thing to do. Also, I did a video before where I talked about him mentioning he's trying to get Eli Scott over there. You know what I'm saying? Eli Scott had a pretty good season in Division I basketball this year. So little things like that could be stuff coming down the pipeline. You know what I'm saying? Just more players, professionalizing it, bringing in some more strength and conditioning coaches. So it's more of a technical basketball practice. Like, I think that they already in the hole. I think somewhere around Lavar dropped off $100,000 to $150,000. You know what I'm saying? So starting over with another team who may need that same influx of cash sounds crazy. But now if you could add to your already $100,000 and then bump that up with another 100K, and then take the budget up a little bit higher, and then start hiring your own coaches and all of that stuff, so the team can like develop better during the season. I feel like that would make a big difference. I don't know, man, but I'm getting tired, man. Starting to ramble out here, so I'm gonna hop up off this stream. But I appreciate it, man. Be on the lookout. Like I said before, man, I'm gonna start pumping this content out again. More videos. I'm gonna start trying to get this live stream off a little bit more. If you've seen that one video I did with my bro, my homeboy, we did a live stream. We were talking about that Tekashi thing. I'm gonna start trying to get some other folks in on the live stream so we can talk. Some of my folks, but then also like people who out here in the movement and doing these things, talking about this stuff. But then also, man, like I still got a lot of content that I just want to create outside of talking about this. So be on the lookout for that, man. If you have not watched that vlog that I did that we were in Boston, go check that out. Let me know what you think. I felt like that was cool. It was a good time. Just little random stuff, man. I want to start creating a bunch of different things. Also, man, I feel like I need to do a video explaining a little bit about what happened with the other channel, because I know there's a lot of like people like kind of my bad. There you go. There it is. Should be on now. My bad. All right. So basically, if you just was watching and you had no audio, what I was saying is that those channels that I was showing you are channels that you should, or like pages that you should follow or check out for the Big Baller Brand content. Also, I was saying that I want to do a video soon kind of explaining what happened with the other channel, because I feel like a lot of people kind of feel like they know what happened, but actually, like, realistically, it's so like bizarre, and it really had nothing to do with my AB the Hero channel. It had stuff to do with another channel that I had, and like, and that shit was just random. But like, even operate that whole, so I don't know. So we'll see. But I'll kind of get into that. And so yeah, so it didn't really have nothing to do with like streaming anything on here or any of the content that I had from this channel or anything that I was talking about. It really was like some like out of left field stuff, and it's kind of halfway relevant to what's happening now because it's like NCAA related. So
I don't know. We'll see. But I'll get into that stuff, man. But I'm gonna hop off here, man. It's been real. I appreciate y'all tuning in. And like I said, man, I'm gonna try to get back in the swing of things and make sure that Big Baller Brand content is coming the way it used to be. But this your main man, AB the Hero. I'm out. Peace.